morning, everybody. So today is the last day of September. I think it's 10 a.m. and I just kind of wanted to do like a little check-in update type thing because it's been like a week-ish, maybe 2 weeks. It's been a bit since I uploaded. The time has gone very, very fast. It's just been going very, very fast with classes and all. Let me just put this back really fast. So I was planning on filming a lot more often, obviously, as I always do, but, you know, like I said, been busy with class and everything, which you guys always understand, which is nice, thank you. But I just kind of wanted to chat a little bit, just to put something up and say hello. So, yeah, I got this new sweater from American Eagle. Actually, I got a lot of new sweaters from American Eagle, and I do plan on doing like a fall clothing haul soon. I usually do like an American Eagle haul like twice a year-ish, but you guys know I love American Eagle so much. It's like the only place that I shop really now, because nowadays I just am not into like the clothing that is like popular now. So most stores don't appeal to me, but American Eagle does because they usually have more casual stuff, which is what I like. And I just really only like fall and winter clothing. Like, I just never find summer clothes that I like, which is kind of okay because I teach full-time summers. I do gymnastics camp full-time, and so I'm really only wearing athletic wear, and so it doesn't really matter that much nowadays. But yeah, after like the early 2010s, like after high school, because that was like high school for me, after that, when things started changing, like, you know, started rolling over, I just like, my interests, I mean, you know this, my brain did not leave the early 2010s with everybody else's brain, and so I'm still stuck there. But American Eagle still has, you know, good stuff. And my eye is really irritating me right now, and I don't know why. So maybe let me like pause for a sec, because sometimes I will look and there's like a dog hair in my eye. So I'm gonna look really fast. I will be back. I'm gonna try not to touch my eye. I couldn't see anything. Maybe there's something there that I can't see. So one of the things that I wanted to try and do more of on my channel, I've been thinking obviously a lot about this lately, like I mentioned to you a couple weeks ago, but I'm really trying to kind of just do what feels right and do the small things in the moment that will contribute to what I want to do long term, because I realized that I kind of get stuck planning and planning and planning and planning, and then end up creating such big expectations for myself and such like lofty goals that I end up not feeling like I can do the thing because I've created it into something that's too big, feeling like the expectations I've put on myself are so big that when I try and do something to contribute to it, nothing will ever meet those expectations, and so I end up not doing anything at all. And so that's kind of the flaw that I realized exists when you plan too much and don't do enough little things, is that you end up not doing anything because everything seems too small. And it's something I'm trying to get over, because you guys know, like, my whole, like, I don't know, essence, that's the wrong word, but I am a big butterfly effect person, and I realized how much I go against that belief by only thinking long term, because the whole thing about the butterfly effect is that every single thing that you do, even the smallest flap of a butterfly's wing, affects the future. And so I need to really allow myself to do those little small things that may in the moment feel insignificant, but it still has such a big impact that I may not be able to see. And so it's like, that's my whole thing with planning less and doing more. You guys know that I'm a big planner, I'm a big long-term thinker, and that doesn't need to stop, but I know that I need to do less of that. And some people might need to do more of it, because long-term planning can be really good, and it's important to think long-term and to think about goals and everything, but I know that I do it too much, and I think so long-term that I end up not doing anything in the moment, because all I'm thinking about is, well, someday this is going to happen. Someday when I'm able to do this. Someday, someday, someday. It's always someday, but it's never now, and it needs to be now, because I can't achieve someday if now doesn't happen. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I need, one thing that I'm thinking is doing that thing that a lot of people recommend, where it's like, you know, think about your goals. And a friend suggested to me to write down a bunch of little things that I can do that contribute to my big goals. And that's a really good idea, because then I can do the thing where I focus on, at least once a day, do one thing, even if it's small, that contributes to the big goal, because they will add up. If I do not practice the little things that I need to do to achieve my goals, I'm not going to get better. I'm not going to exercise coming up with new ideas for this stuff. Like, if I want to do good videos, I have to do bad videos first, you know? And like, the whole thing of like, oh, I'm not going to make videos until I plan a really perfect video and I'm able to make it perfect, that doesn't work. Like, well, some people we know have like 5 videos on their channel and they all happen to be really aesthetic and perfect, and now they have 200,000 subscribers within 5 months of being a YouTuber. But you guys know that side of YouTube is not my side of YouTube. I come from the first generation of YouTube, and that's not how people started. People took a few years to get big because they just made videos when they wanted to, about what they wanted to, and they were passionate about it, and it just kind of snowballed into something. And that's the only way I'm gonna get there. A thing that I heard lately that I didn't really understand before, but I understand now, is anything worth doing is worth doing poorly first. And I never really understood that, because it just didn't click, because I didn't have the context for it and I didn't have the application for it at the time. But now it does. If you want to get good at something, you have to allow yourself to do it poorly first. And that really does go with anything. And I'm not gonna like spend the time justifying any sort of situation. I feel like I kind of could at this point because I've thought about it so much, but right now I'm applying it to me. I am an artist, I'm a musician, I'm a YouTuber, I am a teacher, I do a bunch of those things, and I had to do a lot of it badly before I got good. The context that I first heard this in was like, if you brush your teeth and you only brush it for 30 seconds as opposed to the 2 minutes, you still brushed your teeth. If you are depressed and that's a really difficult thing for you to do, you still did it, you know? And it's like, you still did it as opposed to not doing it. It's still a small victory. It's still something to be proud of. And I hadn't thought of it in that context before, and then I started applying it to my goals. And like, when I started teaching, I was not good at it, but I kept going, and just by merely doing it all the time, now I feel like I am good at teaching 7 years later, you know? And if it's worth doing, if it's really worth it for you, doing it poorly will still contribute to your goals. That's the thing that I'm trying to tell myself, is it's like, you know, with art, with music, with YouTube, if I really love those things, doing it poorly is the only way that I'm going to get that stuff out so that I can do well later, because it's practice. It's getting better at it. It's the way that I think of it with like songwriting, because I don't feel like I'm a good songwriter, but it would be really cool to be able to write songs. I think that would be really fun for me. And I have a whole folder of all of the songs that I wrote when I was little that are not good, but I did it because I loved it. I wasn't thinking if it was good or not. I was just letting stuff come out. And it's really important to do that, because another way to think of it is like you're letting the bad ideas come out so that the good ideas can come out. And again, it all comes back to like, it's practice. How am I going to get good if I don't practice? And I really do love all of those things. So instead of telling myself like, at this point, you should be good at this, so you shouldn't do it unless it's going to be good. That's dumb, because like, yeah, I've been doing YouTube since 2015. One would expect I'd be good at it by now, but it's okay that it's not there yet, because I realized that I've unintentionally held myself back. And so now if I don't do that and I let myself just do it, then maybe now it'll start to make a difference, because I'm not inhibiting myself anymore. And I'm going to try and do that in all of my areas of passion, my Etsy shop, my everything. I want to kind of make a list of the small goals that I can do, that I can do every single day. That, well, okay, let's not get crazy, maybe not every day, but enough, often enough, that I'm still doing something, I'm still practicing. I'm not letting it go and then trying to come back with everything perfect. So those are kind of the things that have been on my mind lately. I would love to hear your own thoughts on it, because I wonder, well, obviously everybody's personal like journey with this is probably different, because that's how people work. But I would really like to hear how it's different for you guys, your own personal stories. I'm not like asking for advice, because I just don't need it right now. But I would love to hear about your own personal explorations with this. If any of you also have really lofty goals in life that are pretty big, that you can see a big picture, but you have trouble with the short term, I would really like to hear about your experiences with that as well, because it's interesting, very interesting. But yeah, so that is something that I've wanted to talk to you guys about, and I'm really glad that I was able to kind of just let that out to you, because again, it kind of goes with the whole thing that I was just saying. I plan too much, and knowing the past me, I would have tried to write everything out, and I would have tried to get a perfect background, try and make everything look perfect so that I could film a really good video that was perfect. But I'm trying to allow myself the opportunity to like do what I originally thought of YouTube as, which is like, I have a thought, I pick up the camera, I film. It doesn't matter where or when or how I look, because the original YouTube, my original thoughts were wanting to give advice, and not always advice. Advice is a weird word to me, because I don't always feel like it's advice, but like just talk about life things with younger people in mind, because I had struggles in middle and high school, and when I discovered YouTube, it was during that time. And YouTube is what helped me overcome those, and that's how I knew that this is what I wanted to do. And so I kind of put myself in a place of not really knowing what kind of videos I wanted to film that would contribute to that. And so I kind of got away from that by accident, by only filming videos that seemed to have a clear direction and a clear point, like room tour, makeup tutorial. I loved those videos, but you know, YouTube's kind of gotten away from that, and so have I kind of. But I would film those because they had a clear direction and a clear point, but I want to kind of allow myself the opportunity to have those thoughts and what I believe are important to talk about, and to just do it. It might not be as concrete, but it's still important, and it's what makes me feel like I'm doing something important. I don't feel like there's any way for me to reach a big audience by just showing you my lip balm collection. You know, I feel like I need to do something that's gonna make a few waves in order to actually do something important and progress and exercise my brain to see what's gonna come next, because I'm trying to think about what videos do I want to make, and it's like, well, before you fall into place, you gotta start doing some stuff. And so I'm gonna do more of this because I think that's the only way for me to get where I need to be. And also, sorry, I don't know if you could see, I got a few months ago, I replaced my slip-on Vans, and because they're new, even though my feet are really used to them, the new ones are still causing the like scabbing on the back of my ankle, and it was kind of bleeding, so I was just keeping an eye on it. So sorry if you saw me, like I don't have my viewfinder up, so I can't see what you can see, but I was just, you know, checking in on it, seeing how it's doing. But yeah, so with that being said, I would really like to know maybe some topics that you'd like me to talk about in this kind of format. Maybe in the future they will be a little bit more structured, but as of now, I'm not going to think about that. I'm just going to do. So please let me know some middle and high school struggles. They can be deep. Like, please, they can be deep. I'm not saying I'll talk about everything because I can only speak from my own experience, and so it would be wrong of me to talk from something that I can't actually talk about, you know what I mean? So, but please let me know. They can be questions that middle school or high schoolers might have, or they can be overall topics that you want my thoughts on. I'd love to hear them. But yeah, let me see how long I've been filming for. It's been 15 minutes. Oh boy. Okay, so that's a long time. I was going to go into the question journal, but I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? I want to still do the question journal. So I am going to stop recording this video, and I'm going to start recording and upload 2 videos because that would be really, really long if I then went into a lot of philosophical questions. I also have to do stuff today. That would be good to do. But yeah, so I'm going to go and record another video for you. But thank you for watching this and for listening to me. Wow. I just put the viewfinder up in. This part of my hair always does that because I'm always playing with it or putting it behind my ear. The rest of my hair is good. It's chill. It's not humid anymore. It's nice and dry, so my hair is drying really nicely. We're into that season now, thankfully, but this just looks strange. But that's okay. It's whatever. But yeah, thank you for watching. I'm gonna try not to... You know, I've already made it too long. It's already weird. I'm sorry. Goodbye.